Gran Turismo Sport's expansive and detailed car lists is one of the reasons why people keep coming back to this game. In this video, I wanted to go over some of my personal favorite cars in the game. So I will be going over my top 10 favorite cars, starting from number 10 all the way up to number 1. As always, please be sure to leave your favorite cars in the comments below. Starting at number 10, we have the 2014 Audi TTS Coupe. I love this car. It's a great beginner car. I think it was one of the first cars that I got in game. Mine is tuned to about 360 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque, and while weighing around 3,053 pounds. This car is really good for learning some slow technical tracks, like let's say for example Scuba or Laguna Seca. These cars are fantastic for learning that track. Number 9, we have the Porsche Taycan Turbo S. This is one of the more recent additions to the game, and I personally love this thing. Mine is tuned to 788 horsepower. Gran Turismo Sport does not tell you the torque, but I'm assuming it is a lot, while weighing 5,060 pounds. So the car is definitely no lightweight for sure. My personal favorite thing to do with the Taycan Turbo S is take it around the Nürburgring and see how fast it can go. You don't have to shift gears at all, which is very interesting and different for me, but it's an interesting challenge and I highly recommend you try out the Taycan Turbo S. Number 8, we have the Ford Mustang Group 3 road car. I got this car from the Mileage Exchange and I didn't even know it existed in game, but I've had a ton of fun with it so far. It has 668 horsepower and 512 pound-feet of torque, while weighing 3,071 pounds. This car has been a blast to drive. I think that it's a perfect balance between not too light and then not excessively heavy as well, while still having that excellent front engine rear wheel drive weight distribution. So this car is very simple to learn how to drive and it's excellent. Number 7, we have the 2003 BMW E46 M3. I've kept the power level in this car stock, so 339 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque, and weighing around 3,439 pounds. This car is excellent for learning the dynamics of a rear-wheel drive car. It's really good on more technical circuits, and it really allows you to practice your throttle control with the back end of the vehicle, and I think this is an excellent vehicle for either learning drifting or learning how to perfect a rear-wheel drive car. Number 6, we have the 2014 Volkswagen Golf GTI. Now stock, this vehicle comes with 216 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. However, mine is modified to 240 horsepower and 286 pound-feet of torque, and it weighs 3,064 pounds. The GTI is one of those cars that I actually personally really want in real life, and to be able to drive this car and tune it in Gran Turismo to a version of which I would want to replicate in real life eventually is really great. The GTI is a perfect example of a well-balanced front-wheel drive car, and it's really good on technical circuits, but it's really fun on faster circuits as well, so I think the GTI is an excellent vehicle for beginners. Number 5, we have the Mercedes W8 F1 car from 2017. Obviously, this car is stupendously fast. It has 890 horsepower and 366 pound-feet of torque, while weighing only 1,605 pounds. This car is incredible for really going all out with the time trial and trying to set your fastest lap possible. One of my favorite things to do with this car is go around Spa and just bomb down Spa and see just how fast you can go. I've noticed that compared to other racing games that feature the same vehicle, it doesn't necessarily have as much initial horsepower in GT Sport. It's something to do with the battery system. In, for example, F1 2020, the game really pushes the battery power immediately and really can get the tires kicking. However, in Gran Turismo Sport, you can floor it in first and you can't even get wheel spin. But it's an excellent car to drive, obviously incredible amounts of downforce and fantastic on technical as well as really quick circuits as well. Number 4, we have the 2017 Lexus LC500. Now, this is one of my personal dream cars in real life. I think the LC500 is one of the best looking cars to come out in the last, say, decade. It's incredibly futuristic while at the same time keeping classic proportions and curves around the car, and it still looks just incredible. It has 469 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque, while weighing a pretty hefty 4,277 pounds. Now the LC500 for me is perfectly suited for bringing it into scapes and taking incredible pictures. That's my favorite thing to do with the LC500, as well as just cruising. You know, this is a fantastic cruiser. It can do some technical driving as well on tracks, but it's a really great car and very well suited for cruising. Number 3, we have the Ford Mustang Group 4. This is one of the easiest cars to learn how to drive a more race-focused car. So for me, I didn't change anything with horsepower or weight. I messed around a little bit with the suspension tuning, put it on racing soft tires, and it is an incredibly easy car to drive at the limit. The Mustang Group 4 has incredible balance front and rear, and you really have to work very hard to be able to unsettle the rear end of the car. It's very easy for beginners who are learning to drive rear-wheel drive race cars. And for that reason, it's number 3 on the list. The Mustang also has 395 horsepower, 370 pound-feet of torque, and weighs 3,086 pounds. So it's a great recipe for not too powerful, but powerful enough to really be able to set some quick times. Number 2, we have the Corvette C7 Group 4. This car has 414 horsepower as well as 419 pound-feet of torque and weighs 2,976 pounds. The C7 Group 4 is like the Mustang Group 4, except just more responsive. I found the front end on the C7 is super precise and really allows you to use laser-like precision around clipping apexes, and especially on technical circuits, the C7 Group 4 is fantastic. Similar to the Mustang Group 4, it's really hard to unsettle the back end of the C7. You have to work really hard to get this thing sideways, which is a very good thing when you're trying to do really high, super quick laps. Number 1, by far my favorite car in Gran Turismo Sport is the 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE, and this thing is a total monster. I love driving this car every single time I get in it. It has a huge 650 horsepower at 640 pound-feet of torque while weighing 3,800 pounds, so it is quite heavy, but it handles the weight very well. I personally put this car on racing soft tires, and oh my goodness, this car is a monster on the track. On higher speed circuits, this thing is even faster than most of the Group 4 cars out there. The supercharged V8 in this car sounds incredible as well. The ZL1 1LE is perfectly suited for the Nürburgring, which is one of my favorite places to take it and lap it as fast as you can. You can easily get under a 7-minute lap time with this thing, and it is a total beast. The ZL1 1LE is not quite beginner friendly. It's still not a very difficult car to drive, but it's good to spend some time in a more beginner focused rear wheel drive car. So say for example the Corvette C7 Group 4 or the Mustang Group 4. If you get a lot of practice in those cars, then you can step into the ZL1, just be a little more careful with the throttle, and it is a very simple and easy car to drive. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. This is a little different, but let me know if you guys liked it. So as always, I'd like to hear what your guys' favorite cars are in the comment section below. I'll be replying to comments, and as usual, if you could leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, it would be much appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.